Today, I'm excited to share an extraordinary tale surrounding Prince Harry and a recent, dramatic episode. Reportedly, at a high-profile event, Harry faced such overwhelming booing during his address that the organizers had to cut his speech short. Let's delve into the specifics. For those catching up, a few months back, Harry was lined up to speak at the Stop Flight Shame International Aviation Summit in London. This engagement was poised to be among his first prominent appearances post his royal departure in 2020. As a fervent environmental crusader, Harry's talk was geared towards driving sustainability in aviation. From the outset, it seemed like the event proceeded without a hitch. However, emerging details now hint at a significant upheaval, one that royal aides attempted to obscure. Among the attendees was the renowned pilot, Boeing 747 Captain John Flynn, an aviation titan boasting over 40,000 flight hours. John Flynn, a seasoned veteran with over half a century in the aviation industry, provides a first-hand account of the event. He describes the audience's reaction to Prince Harry as decidedly negative. As Harry stepped up to deliver his speech, a chorus of boos and hisses broke out, startlingly audible throughout the crowd. It was quite shocking to witness such blatant hostility towards a royal family member, Flynn remarked. But what fueled this uproar? Flynn attributes it to a growing disillusionment in the UK with Harry's actions and criticisms post-royalty, especially from his base in America. Many perceive Harry as exploiting his royal background for personal gain and fame. Flynn notes that the discontent only intensified as Harry touched on topics that seemed hypocritical, considering his history of using private jets while a working royal. As Harry continued, the heckling grew louder and more pervasive. According to Flynn, the situation escalated to such a degree that the event organizers hastily convened, ultimately deciding to prematurely end Harry's speech for his safety. Security was observed escorting a clearly unsettled Harry away from the podium as a tumultuous wave of boos swept over the venue. In the aftermath of this dramatic event, royal officials and event organizers scrambled to manage the fallout. They hastily explained away Harry's sudden exit as due to a conflicting commitment, necessitating an early end to his speech. To keep a lid on the actual happenings, footage of the incident was reportedly seized. John Flynn, however, stood undeterred by these efforts. Having observed the events unfold firsthand, he felt a duty to share his eyewitness testimony. With his long-standing reputation as an esteemed figure in aviation, Flynn's revelations carry significant weight. I took it upon myself to substantiate Flynn's narrative, reaching out to others who were present. The story holds up. Multiple attendees confirmed key aspects of Flynn's account, despite official attempts to suppress the incident. This episode is indicative of a deeper issue, Harry's dwindling favor within his home country. His actions post-royalty, especially his critical stance on the monarchy during international broadcasts, have stirred discontent. Many in Britain, who once held him in high regard, now view him through a lens of skepticism, with some deeming his environmental advocacy as contradictory to his past actions. The overt display of disapproval at the summit was a stark indicator of shifting sentiments. Such an open denunciation, as Flynn points out, marks a crucial juncture, symbolizing the dwindling support for the once-admired Duke. The erstwhile affection has seemingly morphed into disdain, particularly for a prince perceived as turning away from his responsibilities. This incident underscores a changing dynamic within the UK. Criticisms of the royal family and attacks on what he describes as toxic relations are no longer being overlooked. This episode corroborates the view that Harry may be oblivious to the depth of the wounds his actions have caused amongst those who traditionally upheld the monarchy as a bastion of stability and heritage. While he may find a sympathetic ear in California, discontent has evidently trailed him from his homeland. For the royal establishment, such a public debacle at a high-profile event is nothing short of a nightmare. Their attempts to downplay the incident, though understandable, might be misguided. This embarrassing rejection is the last thing they need, potentially diminishing Harry's influence and credibility. In retrospect, embracing a stance of accountability and transparency, acknowledging the incident openly, might have served as a valuable moment of reflection and learning for Harry and the monarchy at large. The public, arguably, deserved a transparent account rather than a PR-crafted narrative that deflects blame. The realization that efforts were made to mute the stark reality of a prince facing overt disapproval could potentially fuel further backlash. This scenario casts a shadow not only on their crisis management tactics but also on their regard for the populace's authentic reactions. John Flynn perceives this entire episode as a telling lesson, adulation can quickly turn to intense criticism when public trust is compromised by a series of controversial actions and familial discord under the media spotlight. Mere titles are insufficient to salvage reputations once subjected to such widespread derision. Now, I turn to you, our viewers, for your insights on this exclusive update from John Flynn. How does this new information shape your view of Prince Harry's abrupt speech termination? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for joining us for this revealing report. Remember to subscribe to stay updated as this story continues to evolve in unexpected ways. I'll catch up with you in our next